This is the Cerebral Edge with Coach Chris. This is the only show aimed to give you the edge to be 1% better every day. Most of the time we talk about physical fitness, but today we're going to talk a little bit about financial fitness because I have my good friend here and professional coach, Michael Lawrence on. Welcome.
How you doing, Chris? My name is Michael Lawrence, financial professional. Chris, I appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
It's amazing.
Glad to have you on, man. And the reason I have you on because I really want to give people nuggets of what they can do to make themselves a little bit mentally healthier when it comes to finances and fitness and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then also, kind of a game plan that they could kind of use and take away. And, stories always, represent the best. So what got you into financial fitness? What has it done for you?
What got me into financial fitness is I was shot October 17th of 2021.
Okay.
We talked about this previously,
Yep.
I had a shot, my final shot.
Yeah.
I got a final shot.
Right.
And then my mom reached out to me and she just explained, how she helps people financially. And I just was like, man, I actually need that. And so I knew a lot of veterans that were in the military that make all this money, but they don't have a plan with it, or they're putting it towards residual bills and all this other stuff.
Now let's back that up, right? You got shot, right? Which was something that was what?
Devastating.
And unexpected, right?
Very much.
And then what happened because of that?
I was very down bad financially. Very down bad.
Very down bad financially, right?
Yes.
What'd that do for your mental health? Like, how'd that make you feel?
I really felt very small. At that time, I was 250 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, now I'm 230.
Nice.
And I still had a girlfriend, I had a car, I had everything. But the thing was, that bill came around on the first of the month, and still had to pay that. And knowing that I can't do nothing with my money except pay bills, because I don't know when my next check is gonna come. I can't take my girlfriend out, I can't go nowhere. It's made me feel little.
Pretty isolated, right?
Yeah.
Felt like you couldn't do anything, felt like, man, I'm kind of a failure to my friends and stuff like that. And especially the lifestyle you lived before that, right? So
Definitely.
Describe the lifestyle you had before you got shot and what happened.
So before I got shot, I was selling cars during the pandemic at Phil Long Hyundai. Great place to work, great environment. Everybody in Colorado Springs is amazing. But during selling cars during the pandemic, you were making really good money because you were charging $2,000, $3,000 over the sticker price. So I was making $10,000, $9,000 a month. And my lifestyle was very high. And essentially, that came crashing down when I got shot.
Yeah, so you're just killing it, making all this money, right? Going, I don't have to keep hardly any of this, right?
Honestly.
I can just let that paper fly, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you got shot, something unexpected, and now you're in this place of, isolation, and you're in this place of desperation, going, what can I do? What finally got you? I know you talked about your mom a little bit, but what was the come to Jesus moment to where you're like, this is how I've got to climb out of this?
Honestly, I was laid up in the hospital bed. I got surgery January, February, March, April, May 14th. And I was laid up in the hospital bed, and I just kind of was like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. And financially, I just know I needed a plan. And I just was like, let me reach out to my mom finally. And then she actually talked to me, hey, you ever thought about helping vets that could be in your same situation? You ever thought about helping young people who can take advantage of their young age and their young health? And I was like, what does that do? And that's when I talked to her. She explained how I could help my friends and more of my family members. And that's what really got me into what I'm doing with New York Life.
Yeah, it's because I think everybody kind of has a plan. They know they should have a plan.
Yeah,
right?
Everyone has a plan until they get hit in the mouth.
Until they get hit in the mouth, right? All of a sudden that hit comes and you're like, boom, what do I do? I don't know, right?
Exactly.
But the cool thing what you did was is you developed you called somebody and you're like, hey, I need help, right? So kind of your first coach was your mom in a sense, right? Because she was, very financial literate, I take, right? Because that's what she does. And she called you, she's like, hey, knucklehead, this is what you got to do, right?
Yeah, honestly. The crazy part is my mom tried to tell me for a year before that happened, hey, get this in place, get this in place, get this in place. This is why you need this. I'm like, Mom, I'm in the military.
I'm killing.
I get guaranteed checks. And then I have a job lined up when I get out. I already know what I'm doing. And then literally that happened, and I got hit in the mouth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't have a plan.
Yeah. No plan in place, no coach in place, nobody to help them. So then you're like, okay, you had somebody help you. You saw the light, and now you're like, man, I need to start helping other people.
Exactly.
I got to pull them up, right?
Yeah.
Because I've seen what it's done to me mentally. I've seen how it can cripple me, isolate me, and keep me stuck in that box, right?
Exactly.
To where it's like I feel like a failure to not only, maybe if you have kids, maybe to your own kids, to your spouse and everything else like that, but to be that light for somebody else, to be like, okay, this is your plan that you need to go to. That's such a salvation for some people, I think.
Yeah. Honestly, to take it back, everyone, if you think of it as a financial house, a lot of people, they lack the foundational piece. And they just think of accumulation, which is the sexier side of the house, the side that everyone likes to see, the decorating, the getting the nice kitchen, the accumulating money. But essentially, no one has a strong foundation because they're paying bills, they're living check to check. Their biggest asset is their income. What if you lose that? You need a plan for that. And many people do not have that.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing for me, just helping people, assisting them in getting their own plan. Like a house. It's just like a house, literally. You design it, you build it. I'm just the contractor to come in and make sure that things are done right the first time.
So that way you can make sure they set that foundation so they don't get caught in those,
Exactly.
trying to buy stuff to impress people that they don't really like.
Exactly.
Right? That's how Dave Ramsey describes
Yeah.
it. And I think it's perfect. A lot of people will do that. They'll sit there, they'll live on a lot of credit, and they'll be like, oh man, I'm good, right? And all of a sudden, that layoff comes, or, whatever happens. And they're like, oh man, I still got, my champagne taste, but I'm on a beer budget.
Yes.
What do I do?
Very much.
Because I was in the same situation, right, in Iraq. I mean, we got paid in Iraq, right? Really good. All of a sudden, I got out of Iraq. What I do? I said, I'm going to buy me a new truck. Right? That's the first thing I'm going to do when I get back, right? So I've been there where I'm just like, hey, I'm going to throw my money to the wind, and it's going to be cool because I've got, all this money coming in, and I have no end in sight, and then all of a sudden you get injured, right? Like I got injured. And all of a sudden it's like, ooh, that's cut off now. Now what do I do? And then you're lost in the dark. Luckily, I had a brother that kind of was there for me that said, hey, I can help you with that, right? Yeah. Because he was financial planner, financial advisor, was like, hey, you need to start setting this money aside, right? You need to start, putting this in place. And, I kind of had him to look at and go, well, he lives a lot differently than I do. I think I might want to pay attention to him.
Honestly, to add to that, meeting you and everyone that you've introduced me to, that's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I want to be like these guys. I have my knowledge and they have their knowledge. And sometimes when I meet new people that you introduce me to, a mutual friend that we have, I'm like, wow, like this is crazy. You're asking me for information?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, why wouldn't I? I didn't think I was up to your stature. So the fact that, like you're saying that, it's my mom was a great resource. My New York Life team is a great resource. But meeting people like you, meeting people like Marquise, meeting people like Romelda, and Jerome, many other people that I've met in this community has been very eye-opening. And honestly, it has really shown me a lot when it comes to where I want to be, what I need to do. I may have the plan, but sometimes I really don't know what's out there because you don't know what you don't know.
And you said something really good, because it's very easy for yourself as a professional to start discrediting yourself.
Yes.
And go, do I really know what I'm doing? Especially if you get that one or two clients right in a row that's just not doing what you're telling them. All of a sudden you're like, man, am I a failure? Then all of a sudden you start, talking to your group, your group of friends that are around you. Goes, no, man, you know exactly what you're doing. Like we had a conversation on the phone.
Yes.
Right? And I was like, dude, when you're talking to me about numbers, like I know you know what you're talking about. When I talk to you about fitness, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
And you relate it very well, by the way.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You as a talker, as a person, are amazing. you relate everything back to the person so that they can actually see the concept before they even do it. And that's a piece that I've taken from your book and incorporated into my practice.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, so it's honestly like a lot when it comes to speaking to you. It's like, wow, I'm always learning something new, and I'm always finding something that can better me, better my community, and just be better all around.
Yeah, I mean, I love your statement too of a financial house, right? Of different financial vehicles. So for listeners out there who are just trying to get some nuggets and be like, okay, how do I apply this to my life? What are some financial vehicles that they can start applying today that's going to start to help them immediately?
Honestly, their savings account that's an immediate one. And then after they feel like they have enough in their savings account, just get with a professional. A professional is not there to detour your plan. They're not there to take your money, because long term they know that they want to retain you as a client. That's one thing. So we don't want to drive you away. And then also we want to be complementary to your current plan. Find a professional that can enhance your plan, take the emotion out of it, because that's a big
You
thing.
hit a huge one right there,
Yeah.
emotion, right?
Yeah.
Because what do people always think? I don't have enough.
Yeah.
Right? I need to hold on to my nut. I can't get rid of it.
Exactly.
But what else happening anyway?
They're literally losing money. They
It
got to
goes
pay a
away,
bill. They
right?
got inflation, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So something is always going to come up. So you have to essentially find a plan that works for you. Present your plan to a professional. See if it works.
Yeah.
And if you can do it yourself, honestly, do it. But usually a professional can enhance your plan.
Yeah. And what's the worst that can happen, right? You tell them no.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
I'm not going to do it, right?
And they hear no a lot. They hear no
Yeah.
more than you can think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially in my profession, stuff like that.
Exactly.
One of the funniest, I'm going to tell you a story
Yeah.
about this real quick because this cracked me up, right? So I had somebody come to me in my office and they're talking to me. They're like, Chris, I need to get in shape. I need to get in shape so bad. I said, great. So I gave them, back then I had like a 3 free session deal. This was when I was first starting out.
I need that.
So I gave the guy 3 sessions. By the end of the 3rd session, we're sitting down and we're talking financials, how much it's going to cost and whatnot. He's like, you know what, Chris? He goes, I think I'm going to get in shape before I come see you. It's like, you're going to, what? You're going to get in shape and then you're going to come see me. What sense does that make, right?
Yeah.
So some people will be like, hey, man, I'm going to get my financials in order and then I'm going to come see you.
Exactly.
It's like, well, I'm the coach that's supposed to get you from point A to point B. You don't get yourself from point A to point B, then come back to see me about point A.
Exactly.
That makes 0 sense, right? But people's psychology in their mind, in their own heads, are just like unbelievable sometimes,
Yeah.
right? Because they talk themselves out of things. And
The thing is, a lot of people are driven by their friends and outside entities that are not even trying the work that you're doing. Like if a lot of them are on your side, and then once you start to see results, that's when they're like, try this cake. Hey,
Yeah.
let's go out to the club. Hey,
Yeah.
let's do this.
Yeah.
And you can do that. But
Yeah.
the thing is, they want you to overindulge.
Yep.
Because they see you're getting a 6-pack. They see you're becoming a easy 6-figure earner, and you're not hanging out with the same crowd.
Yes.
So essentially, finding people that you can circle yourself with will be key. And then also realizing that I can't do everything by myself. I have to find someone to
Bingo.
prioritize my finances, prioritize my health when I don't even feel like doing it. And sometimes that's not in your budget now, but at least plan for that later.
Take the feelings out of it.
Exactly.
Right? Go back to your reasoning, your thinking. And another huge thing you said there was friends, right? You talked about earlier who I surround myself with. It's very important to me, right? It's a lot of different crowd than I used to surround myself with, where it was like, hey, let's go out every weekend to the club and let's do a lot of self-indulgence and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden you change that mindset and you start acting differently, those friends will fall away anyway.
Yeah.
And then you'll start attracting those new friends that have better values,
Yeah.
that have a better value system in place, to where if you do start to have those feelings, they can be like, hey, man, and they kind of smack you around a little bit, right? Not really, but
No.
they'll talk to you a little bit and say, hey, what are you trying to do?
My friends hit me really. So.
There you go. So they'll go, hey, what are you trying to do? What's your end goal?
Yeah.
Is this helping your end goal, really?
Yeah.
And if you don't have friends like that maybe even sometimes physically hit you a little bit, you got to watch out who you're circling yourself with, because if you don't have that, you got to ask yourself, well, why is nobody trying to correct me?
Honestly.
Do they really care about me?
Yeah.
Right? Because if I don't get in somebody's butt for missing a workout, it's like, it must be I just don't care.
Yeah.
Right?
The thing is, people invest into what they see value in.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, if they don't see value in helping their finances or
Mm-hmm.
helping their physical fitness actually,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, now they have the outside sources. Hey, don't do it. Hey, don't do it. Now they already know they really don't want to do it, but now
Yeah.
they're just putting it off on someone else.
Yeah.
So, realistically, I can honestly say, like I said from the beginning, meeting you and meeting the people that you've introduced me to,
No, I appreciate
it
that.
has been amazing.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. That's such a good compliment, right? Not just for me, but my friends, my group of people. They're really who makes you you.
Yeah.
Right. It's not, in a sense, you. It's the people you surround yourselves that makes you you. Right. So that's awesome. So. What again? Let's recap those 3 tips that they can do, right? So one is they can start their savings, right?
Definitely save your own.
Which is huge, right? Because people forget to pay themselves at the beginning of the month. They pay everybody
Exactly.
else, right? They pay their credit card bill, they pay their truck, they pay their house, but it's like, where are you at?
Exactly.
Right? And you have to do that first, because it's not going to come later,
Honestly.
right? And then you said get a coach.
Yeah, definitely
right,
get a coach.
For 2. At least sit down and talk to one.
That's all you got to do.
Right, and just be like, hey, this is the game plan I want to do. How can you help in that? And 3, surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Those are the 3 big golden nuggets I think that people can take home right now and learn from that. Don't you agree?
And let's add one more
Yeah.
step to that. A 4th step. Honestly, just stay consistent. Even if it's not daily, check on your progress yearly. Check on your progress monthly. Because you need to stay on track for what you're investing in, what you're trying to do, whether it's retirement, health, or just protecting your income. So
Yeah, I mean, progress is huge, not only and in the fitness community,
Yeah,
right? I'll
big.
tell people to watch their tracking of what they're doing, right? That's huge for people to have that visual target to be like, hey, I was, a pound heavier last week, or I did more reps this week than last week, right? Same concept. All of a sudden, well, I saved this much last month. Oh, look, it grew, maybe $50 this
Exactly.
month, right? So you can see those incremental changes, and over time, that increments become huge,
Massive.
right?
yes.
Well, anyway, thanks for joining me today, Michael. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure having me,
Oh,
Chris.
yeah.
I love being with you, brother. It's
Oh, man.
a pleasure.
I appreciate that, man. Hey, well, this has been the Cerebral Edge. Stay strong.
Have a great one.